This is a setup video for the Tach-It Mini-Con T top label applicator. This same setup video will work with most of our machines as we use the same label head and control system throughout our line of entry-level automation equipment. A couple things that I would like to show prior to getting into the control box and everything is the loading of the labels. So the labels load up here. It works on a 3-inch core with an 11.5-inch overall diameter. In order to open the labels, you just take the side plate off by using the spring clip, and the labels load. In most labels wound in the US are on a 3-inch core, and you're going to load the labels coming off the bottom of the roll. And then the labels will go around this roller. And one secret is if the label itself is not touching this roller, then the label is in the wrong orientation for feeding. We then feed down, and we have a gap sensor here. This is the sensor that will read the gap between the labels, and I will go back a little bit more on this in a minute or two. But this sensor can move in and out by loosening this thumb screw, and it'll move in and out across this rail. We then go down around, come up under this roller, and then this is our feed station. There's an open and close. While feeding, it has to be in the open position. Then you want to make sure it's closed. Then we go around the rewinder. There is a label diagram right on the front of the machine here for easy reference. A little bit more about the label sensor. This label sensor reads the gap, or what we call the die cut, in a label, which is the space between the two labels. The label sensor can move in and out, and if we come to this side and we focus in on that, you'll see that there is a black arrow. That is the actual detection point of the sensor. So you want to move the label in and out to the point where this is as close to the middle as you can without impeding the label travel. Also on the sensor is a plus and minus button. The plus and minus button are for the sensitivity of the sensor. Now, we offer 2 sensors for this particular machine. This sensor will work only on opaque, and we do have an optional sensor that will work on a clear label as well as an opaque label. So what we're doing, and when we're setting up the machine initially with the label, we want to take the label and run it through the sensor. At the die cut, that yellow light should illuminate. But you do not want it to illuminate as the label is traveling through the sensor. If the light is only illuminating at the die cut, that's good. If it's illuminating at any point while the label is traveling through that sensor, that means your sensitivity is too high, and you want to hit the minus button once or twice. You can also, another indicator that this is that the label will feed out, but it will not feed out completely, or it will feed inconsistently. If you find that at the die cut or at that gap in the labels that this light is not illuminating or it's fluttering, means your sensitivity is not high enough, and that's the plus button. When making these adjustments, you only want to do that once or twice. You want to press those buttons. You don't want to press them multiple times. Try it again, and then you'll know whether or not your sensor is adjusted. I've lifted the brush here for ease of viewing. So another aspect of loading the label is we want the label to exceed this plate, which is our peel plate, by about 1 to 2 millimeters. Now, there are 2 ways to control that. The first way is we can physically move this sensor up and down by loosening this thumb screw. The other way we can control that is in our touchscreen control, and I'll explain that in a minute. We have what we call our label stop delay. And by utilizing that, we can do fine-tuning adjustment on the position of this label as the machine is cycling so it's ready for your next position. Okay? The Mini-Con top is designed, it can be fully integrated, can also be used as a hand-fed machine. We have it mounted currently onto our MCS-S table, which is an optional cost. When setting up the machine, you do want this to be put on a flat, level, dry surface. If you need portability, then I would make sure that you're on some type of a cart that can hold the weight on this. The machine weighs less than 150 pounds. So that can that's the how to load the labels and a few minor points in the label loading. This machine is equipped with product guides for full adjustments, which are these two here. One thing about our product guides, what you will notice is that they are laser etched. So that when you set up one product, if you have multiple products that you may want to use this machine for, you can just take your notations on where your setup number is, and it's easy to go back to. There's also, for the products, full control of the positioning of this label head. The label head, you can move in and out and up and down. So up and down is this control here. In and out is this controller here on that ball screw. Now both of these have a digital indicator, and again, using multiple products, you may want to take these notations down as you set it up the first time initially so you can go right back to the same settings. One thing about the product guides I do need to mention, this is our start sensor. So the start sensor is a reflective sensor, so this is the reflector and the actual sensor is on the other side of the machine. These rails cannot interfere with that beam of light hitting the sensor or the machine will not work. There is a yellow light on the sensor that will show if the beam is making proper contact. If there's nothing in the way and you do not see that yellow light, then something is interfering with that beam, either the product or the product guides. New to the Tach-It machine is the inclusion of an encoder system. Now, what the encoder system does in the control box is the encoder coordinates the speed of the conveyor to the speed of the label head. It also makes your adjustments for label positioning very easy. Now, the encoder can be turned on and off, and now I'm going to explain a little bit about the touchscreen controller. This is our count of the labels that we've done, and next is easily cleared by hitting the C. This machine has a target counter, which I'll show you how to turn on in a minute, and this is your target counter indicator. File has two different modes. When the encoder is on and you hit File, and if I turn on the conveyor by pressing this button, you'll see that the label speed and the belt speed are coordinated. This is the encoder. There is a way to manually correct that using the label speed correction, but I do not recommend that. The label stop position is what I talked about initially, about getting that 2 to 3 millimeters of label extending beyond the peel plate. Label start is in millimeters, the position of when the label will dispense and apply from the leading edge of the box. So that's 25 millimeters right now. So that's going to be about 1 inch off of this leading edge. Now, when using the encoder system, there are a few things to keep in mind. To make changes to anything, if I want to make this 2 inches, I can use the plus or minus, and I can just press this and go to 50, enter. Now any of these fields that are variable work the same way, if there is a plus or minus or not. If not, you just press the field, hit your number, and hit enter. When you're using the encoder setup, one thing that is also important is regarding the start sensor, is you want the beam of that start sensor as close to the point of the peel plate as possible. This is our fixed position to adjust for our label start, which is here. It's currently set at 2 inches. And I'll just run the box through. Excuse me. One thing about the machine, you have to put it in run. Now I'll run the box through. And you'll see that that comes right in the 2 inch. Put one through again, and you can see the accuracy. You cannot tell that there are 2 labels there. Utilizing the encoder makes setup a little easier, because if you don't use the encoder setup, and I'll show you that in a minute, the label speed and the belt speed, or the conveyor speed, if they're not coordinated, it's going to affect your consistency and label application. If I go to stop here and turn my encoder off, I now have 5 different memory files. In each one of these, you have your label speed, your start delay, and your stop delay. If I'm using this method, I have to make sure my label speed and the conveyor speed match. This is done through trial and error. And the easiest way to figure this out is if your label is inconsistent, it's kind of dragging on the box as the box is going down the conveyor, that means that your label head speed is too slow. If the label is crinkling, your label head speed is too fast. Again, on a trial and error, your start delay is the position, and this is in milliseconds, of when the start sensor is hit to when we're actually applying the label. Personally, I find using the encoder setup much easier. If you do use this setup and you make any changes to these variables, it's important you hit Save OK. And as mentioned, there are now 5 memory locations. I'm going to turn the encoder back on. Under Options, we have a couple features here. We have our labeler. Now I can turn the labeler on and off. So now if I run the box through, the labeler will not activate. This is a great feature for setting up the physical product rails, the height, and the positioning of the label head. I normally do myself, the first thing I do when I'm setting up a machine, I take the box, I make sure the label head is high enough the box can clear. I do my product guides, and then I adjust my label heads left and right and up and down. When I'm done with that, I turn my labeler back on. This is how we just touch it and it goes on. Target counter. So I now turned it on. So what I want to do is always clear that top count. So if I want to, let's say, label 500 pieces, I would go into count, do 500, enter. Now when this variable up on top hits 500, the machine will stop labeling. The screen will turn orange. Then you can either rechange the variable, or if you want to use the same variable, you just hit clear again back to 0, and you can do another 500. Turn it off. This unit also has a start error and a stop error indication. These are designed for more integrated systems. Unless this unit is fully integrated, we suggest these are kept off. And then this is a total count of the cycles that this machine has performed. Going back to our main screen, we have our inputs and outputs. This is a great feature for diagnostics and for setting up to make sure things are working properly. So I'm just going to cycle the machine utilizing my hand, and you can see that different aspects of the unit work. So if I go back to my run, now go back to I/O. So we know that the stop sensor now read. That's our gap sensor. So a stop sensor is the gap sensor on the label. Start sensor is our reflective sensor. And the step motor is the label motor back here. This is great for diagnostics. If the machine is not triggering for any reason, you can utilize this as a diagnostic just to see that the main inputs and outputs are working. And then we have our run stop button, which I have not, which I've been utilizing through this whole thing. If you do want to change the conveyor speed, if we come around here, that is done on this red box here. There is a dial. I just turn the dial. When I get the speed I want, you just hold it till that number stops blinking. One or two other things I do want to mention when you do get the machine. These connections back here will not be on for safety and travel. Everything is marked and will fit properly. So you want to make sure these connections are all set and tight and tightened. This machine will work on a standard 110 volt outlet. The machine will come with a set of Allen wrenches, which are needed for all your physical adjustments, your power cord, a few other assorted accessory parts, and your pin here for the rewind will also be in a separate bag, as well as an input and output tray. We are here to assist you in any way that we can, and I hope this setup video has helped you with getting this machine ready for use. Thank you for your purchase of your Tach-It machine, and have a great day.